Hey everyone, and welcome back. We're diving into some seriously mind-bending stuff today.
Buckle up.
Yeah, AI is everywhere these days, right? I mean, it's not just some futuristic fantasy anymore.
Not at all.
It's making headlines left and right. I feel like every time I check the news, there's some new crazy development, like brain-computer interfaces, AI
Oh, I
judges.
mean, AI film directors.
It's like we're living in a science fiction movie, but it's real life. And it's raising some really big questions about humanity and where we're headed. So get ready, because today we're exploring the frontiers of AI, where science fiction meets reality.
Exactly. It's really about understanding how AI is shaping our world, what it means for us as humans, the good, the bad.
The ethical dilemmas.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack.
Okay, so let's start with something that just blew my mind when I first heard about it. Neuralink. Elon Musk's company that's actually implanting chips in people's brains.
They've had their first successful human trial. It's pretty incredible.
Someone was able to control a computer with their thoughts. Like, what?
It's wild, right? But when you break it down, it's all about those electrical signals in our brains, the neurons firing.
Right, the brain cells talking to each other.
Exactly. Neuralink basically taps into those signals. They implant these tiny, tiny electrodes in the brain.
And those electrodes are picking up the signals.
Yep. They act like little antennas, listening in on the brain's conversations. And then they translate those signals into something a computer can understand. Digital commands. So someone who's paralyzed, for example, could potentially use their thoughts to move a cursor on a screen or control a prosthetic limb.
Wow. That's incredible.
Yeah.
It could be life-changing for so many people. But, it's hard not to think about the other side of the coin here, the kind of the sci-fi movie side. I mean, we're talking about merging minds and machines.
I know what you mean. It's a lot to wrap your head around.
Is this evolution? Or is it something to be, I don't know, wary of?
It's both, honestly.
Yeah.
We have to think about the potential for misuse.
Absolutely.
Hey.
Like, what happens to our privacy?
Right. This is super personal data. We need safeguards. We need regulations. And then there's access. Who gets this technology? We need to make sure it's not just for the wealthy or the privileged.
It's a huge responsibility, this power to, to merge with machines. And that seems to be the theme, right, with AI, this incredible potential, but also these ethical quandaries. And speaking of ethical quandaries, AI judges.
Yeah, this one's definitely causing a stir.
A European country is actually piloting this, using AI to make legal decisions. Faster, they say.
Yeah.
Fairer. But is it?
It's a really complex issue. There are pros and cons.
Well, yeah. I mean, on the one hand, if you could eliminate human bias.
Right. Judges are human. They have prejudices, conscious or unconscious. And AI, theoretically, could be objective, just looking at the facts.
But can an algorithm truly understand the nuances of a case? I mean, the complexities of law, morality, empathy, that seems like a stretch.
It is. We're talking about human lives, right?
Yeah.
People's freedoms, their futures. Can we really entrust those decisions to an algorithm?
And what happens to public trust in the justice system? If people feel like it's cold and impersonal, like their cases are just being churned through some digital machine.
Yeah, that's a big concern. We have to be really careful about how we implement this technology.
So what's the answer?
I think it comes down to transparency, accountability. We need to know how these AI systems are making decisions, what data they're using. We need to make sure that data is diverse, unbiased.
Right. Otherwise, the AI is just going to perpetuate the biases that already exist in our society. So it's a really, really slippery slope.
It is, and it's a conversation we need to be having right now before this technology becomes widespread.
Before we hand over the gavel, so to speak, to the machines. Okay, so we've talked about our brains, the legal system. Now let's talk about something a little more, I don't know, fun, art, creativity. AI is making its way into the film industry.
Yeah, there's a film premiering at a major festival that was directed by AI.
Directed by AI. That's crazy. I mean, does that even count as art? Does that diminish human creativity, or could it actually expand the possibility?
It's a good question. I think it really challenges us to think about what it means to be creative. Where do ideas come from?
Right, like, is there something inherently human about creativity, or can an algorithm replicate that? I played around with one of those AI image generators a few weeks ago.
Oh, yeah. Which one?
Midjourney. I was just messing around, putting in random prompts. And the images it came up with were stunning.
They're getting so good.
It was like, whoa, okay, if AI can do that, if it can create these amazing visuals, what's to stop it from directing a whole movie? I mean, is Hollywood about to be disrupted?
There's definitely potential for disruption. AI could make filmmaking more accessible, more affordable, so maybe we'll see a surge in independent films, experimental films.
That'd be cool.
But there's also the risk of homogenization. If everyone's using the same AI tools, will we end up with a bunch of generic, formulaic content?
Right. That's the worry, isn't it? That AI will just churn out the same stuff over and over again.
Exactly. So it's a balancing act. How do we harness the power of AI without sacrificing originality, creativity, human expression?
It's funny, we keep talking about AI replacing humans, but what if it's more about collaboration? What if AI could actually enhance human creativity? Like, imagine a filmmaker working with an AI partner, bouncing ideas off each other.
I love that idea. It becomes a tool, right? Like a digital paintbrush for a painter.
Exactly. So the AI can handle the technical stuff, the editing, the special effects, and that frees up the human filmmaker to focus on the story, the characters, the emotion.
The heart of the film.
Exactly. Wow, we've covered a lot of ground today. Brains, courtrooms, and now Hollywood. It feels like AI is touching every aspect of our lives. It's making us re-examine what it means to be human.
It is. It's forcing us to ask some really tough questions.
Yeah.
But it's also incredibly exciting.
It is. I mean, think about the possibilities. We could see cures for diseases that were once thought to be incurable. We could create a more just and equitable world. We could push the boundaries of art and creativity in ways we never thought possible.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think the key is to approach this with both enthusiasm and caution, to recognize the potential of AI while also being mindful of the risks.
To ensure that AI is used for good, that it serves humanity, and that it doesn't diminish what makes us human, our empathy, our compassion, our connection to each other.
Well said.
So as we wrap up today's deep dive, I want to leave you with this. We've explored some pretty mind-blowing advancements in AI, advancements that could change the course of history. But the future is not predetermined. We get to shape it. We get to decide how AI is developed, how it's used, and what role it plays in our lives. So keep exploring, keep asking questions, and most importantly, keep imagining the possibilities. Until next time, keep diving deep.
Keep diving.